Moi guys! In today's video I want to give you an overview about watercolor paints. We are going to talk about all you need to know before buying watercolor paints, like different sizes, format, characteristics and symbols that you can find on the watercolor packages. Since the video was too long, I decided to divide it in two parts. Today we will discuss different format and sizes about watercolor paints, and in the next video we will see in more depth composition and symbols that you have to know before buying watercolor. So, without further ado, let's get started! So, first thing I want to talk about is the difference about student grade and artist grade. Basic knowledge is that all watercolors are composed by pigment, additives and binders, and we will see more detail in next video what that means and what they are. But about the difference about student grade and artist grade is something very important that you have to know. The primary differences between student grade watercolor and artist grade lie in the quality of the ingredients, the performance characteristics and the price. Starting about student grade watercolor, I'm showing you two very famous and popular student grade, the Van Gogh watercolor and the Winsor & Newton Cotman watercolors. They are both quite popular among students and beginners and hobbyists. The student grade watercolor paints has in general a lower pigment concentration, resulting in a less intense and vibrant colors. They usually have a limited pigment range, so these paints often use more affordable and sometimes mixed pigment, leading to less color variety and purity. The pigments may not have the same high level of light fastness as those in artist grade paints. The binder quality is very often mixed, and also they usually have less color consistency. They are often sold in pen sets, which are convenient for beginners and students, and they usually have lower price than the artist grade watercolor. Artist grade watercolor are often available in tubes and pens, allowing you greater flexibility. Here I'm showing you some examples. I have this Rosa Gallery watercolor set, a Daniel Smith Primatex set, and the Holbein 48 tubes set. The artist grade watercolors are best for professional artists and serious hobbyists who require high quality pigment, excellent performance and consistent result. They offer a superior color vibrancy, light fastness and handling properties. You can find them both as singles and in sets. They usually have higher pigment concentration, and that results in more vibrant and intense colors. A wide range of pigment, usually often use a broader range of high quality pigments, including rare and single pigment color. And also they have a better binder quality. The color consistency is also very important and usually is consistent from batch to batch. The price is often higher than the student grade watercolor due to the use of premium materials and pigments. So, now that we see the general characteristics and difference between student grade and artist grade watercolor, we have to discuss another format difference that you can find in watercolor: pens and tubes. And now I will focus on pens. The watercolor pen is a small solid block of concentrated watercolor paint contained in a plastic or metal pen. Watercolor pens come in two main sizes: full pens and half pens. And here you can see the comparison in size between the two. Half pen can contain approximately 0.75 milliliters up to 1.5 milliliters, while the full pen can contain approximately 1.5 milliliters to 3 milliliters. You can bind them as single span, as in this case, Or you can buy the pens in pre-assembling palette set as the Winsor & Newton Cotman travel set composed by 12 half pans placed in a plastic palette. Or this Rosa Gallery 28 full pans color metal palette. And you can see here can accommodate 28 full pan, and there is also some space in the middle for brushes or other half pans actually. You can even do your costume palette and buy just a metallic or plastic empty palette and put the chosen half and full pans inside it to bring them with you wherever you go. Here I show you the palette that I create to paint outdoor. This is my travel size palette. Now, speaking about palette, you will find on the market palette that differentiate based on materials and sizes. Here you see the 3 most common metal palette sizes that you can find in art hobby shops or online. In fact, you can find small size palette, in this case pocket size palette. They are very compact and portable and typically hold 6 full pan up to 12 half pans. And you can find also the plastic alternative in the Winsor & Newton Cotman, for example. The second size is the medium size palette, mini medium size, hold 12 full pan and 24 half pan inside. And actually in the center, as I show you here, sometimes some palette can fit other half pans. In this case, unfortunately, no, so I can just put the brush in the middle part between the 2 rows. Then there are the medium big palettes, and they can hold 24 full pan or 48 half pan colors. In this case, also in the center I can fit other half pans, so they can even take more pans than 48, and I can have actually more than 50 colors in my palette. But what are the general characteristics of pan? Pens are compact and easy to carry around. And this Winsor & Newton Cotman set actually is the proof of that. It can fit perfectly in my hand and can be carried around wherever you go. It's totally travel friendly. So pens are a good way if you are looking for colors to carry around with you. They are ideal for travel, outdoor painting, or limited studio space. Typically, they come in portable sets with multiple colors, as in this case. They are very easy to use. They can activate it by adding water with a brush, and there is an easy control to the amount of paint and water, allowing precise application of the paint. There is no color waste. You will end up to use the color completely. And the colors in the set are often chosen to work well together, offering a balanced palette. And they are very compact to storage. Among the disadvantages, though, we can see that they become dirty, easy and quick. It can be difficult to pick up the color with a big brush, and also the friction of the brush against the pen wears it out faster. There is also a limited quantity of color inside a pan. It is a smaller amount of paint compared to tubes, which can be a limitation for large-scale works. And also the fact that there is an initial activation with water may result in less intense in the color, while with the tubes you can use the color straight out of the tubes without water. Watercolor pens are versatile and a practical choice for many artists, though, offering a balance between convenience and high-quality performance. Whether you're painting in a studio or capturing scene outdoors, watercolor pens provide a reliable and portable solution. But now is the time to speak about tubes. Watercolor tubes are containers filled with concentrated watercolor paint. They are a very popular choice among artists, and they come in different sizes, from a small 5 ml size to 15 ml size to a large one that is up to 37 ml. You can find them as single tubes or you can buy them in a set. And you can find a large variety of sets out there, from smaller sets with 3-6 colors up until more than 100 colors. Here you can see the Daniel Smith Primatex set with 6 colors inside that I review in details on my channel, and the Holbein 48 color set, which contains so many different colors. And here you can see all the singles 5 milliliters tubes that are contained in the set and that you can find in the shops also sold as singles tubes. So, some generic characteristics about tubes. Watercolor tubes contain highly concentrated pigment suspended in a binder. This concentration allows for rich, intense colors when diluted with water. They are very versatile. Artists can easily control the amount of paint squeezed out of the tube, allowing for precise color mixing and application. Tube offers strong, vibrant colors, and they are quite flexible because artists can control the ratio of paint and water used, making it suitable for different painting techniques and styles. They make easier to paint big surfaces because you have more quantity and they are more intense. They are also economical because larger tubes are often more cost-effective for milliliters compared to pens, and the sealed tube prevents paint from drying out for long-term storage. Of course, if you use them properly, so clean them very well after use and squish them from the bottom to avoid air to go inside the tubes and dry the color out. They can be used straight out of the tube by adding water gradually to achieve the desired consistency and transparency. It is also very easy to create costume color mix to put in a pan in a costume palette, and even to create costume palette with these tubes. In fact, if you buy empty palette and empty pans, you can fill the pan with the color of your choice and create a palette. And here I'm showing you the palette that I created with my Holbein tubes that we saw in my 48 sets. It was quite easy to create the palette, and I will leave you also the link to the video in which I do that here, so you can see how to do it yourself. The disadvantage of watercolor tubes, though, is the portability, because the tubes are less compact and portable compared to pens, especially when you carry around multiple colors. Also, it is easy to squish out more paint than needed, so can have potential waste that you can avoid by doing costume palette. And also the initial setup is a little bit longer. You have to take out the color from the tube, preparing the paint, and that can take more time compared to using pens. And also, as I said, they can dry out quicker if you don't close the tube tightly after use, and to prevent the drying, we say you have to clean carefully the tube after use. You can also customize a plastic palette that usually is cheaper than a metal palette and doesn't need to buy even single pens to do that. In fact, here I'm showing you an example of costume plastic palette that I got. And here in particular I have gouache, because this is my gouache palette, but you can put in each actually watercolor, squishing out of the tubes, let it dry out and use it as your watercolor palette. Good cheap solution to customize your own watercolor palette in case you have tubes. And that's it, guys. This was all for the part 1 of this full complete guide to watercolor paints. I really hope this overview will be useful to you. Please let me know in a comment if I miss something. In this video I didn't speak about the color pick for beginners, because that would be an entire other video, so let me know if you want to see also a video about that. But I will leave you next week to the second part, in which we will speak about symbols and general characteristics of the paints. If you liked the video, please give us a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe to don't miss any other content. See you next time. Moi moi!